my fellow beings. My name is Amanda, and today we are going to be talking about things that you wish that people knew about your condition. And I put out a couple of things on Instagram, on Facebook, and on the YouTube channel, asking people what they wish other people knew about their condition. And then I got a few responses, so that's what we're going to be reading today. So, Button on Instagram says, I wish people knew how hard it is mentally, how isolating it can be when you want to do things with people or family and inaccessibility prevents you from doing it. You feel so much guilt as well because who you are with has to change their plans or you are excluded as they carry on. It's also really expensive to buy beauty products you search for hours picking out on websites for allergen safety, only for them to turn up to contain that allergen, either because they don't disclose on the site or the product got improved. One of the biggest things that I complain about a lot about going on family vacations or family trips is that guilt that I have when I have to either push myself through something that I don't really want to do because I am exhausted or tired because I don't want everyone else to change their plans, or I tell everybody that I can't do said thing and everybody's like, well, I guess then we'll just go back to the room or we'll go back to the house or whatnot, and they'll change their plans depending on what you say. And that right there is something that really gets into my soul. I don't want them to have to change their plans because of me. I want them to have as much fun as they want to have with or without me. Which is why now with my husband's family, we usually have more than one car wherever we go, so that if I have to go home or if I'm not feeling well or something, I can go and everybody else can stay and do what they want, and then I don't feel so guilty about it. And with the makeup products, it's so true. Like, you look for makeup products that don't have any of the allergens that maybe you have an allergy to, and they don't disclose what it is. I know for me, because I do makeup on people, I have to tell people what is in the makeup, and if the makeup company doesn't tell me what's in it, then that's a huge problem. So I have to be very picky about the makeup that I purchase in order to put on brides for their wedding day, because the last thing I want is for them to like explode into giant rash because I didn't know what was in my makeup products. So yes, I agree. So Dust Bunny Mom 2020 says, I don't pretend to be sick to get attention. I actually hate being the center of attention. I hate being sick, and I really wish I could do more, and I would rather be the one helping than being the one that needs help. And I say that's probably my biggest thing with having a chronic illness is asking for help and being okay with receiving help. I prefer to help others and be the one that helps them with their problems. I don't like being the one receiving the help with my problems, and so I hate being sick for the fact that I don't want attention. I don't want that kind of attention at all. If I'm gonna get attention, I want it because I'm funny or I'm doing something great or, something important, not because I'm sick. I'd rather not get attention at all because I'm sick. Cami says that resting, taking a nap, doing yoga, or your pink drink will not fix it. Be patient, hugs work best, and a listening ear is always welcome. Yes, so when it comes to being chronically ill, people really love to give their 2 cents as to how to heal you and how to make you better. And no matter how many times you tell them, this isn't going to work, I've tried this, it's not going to work, then they're like, well, have you tried this? And I know that they mean well. I'm not saying that they're not meaning well. It just kind of gets repetitive after a while because you're constantly saying, I have tried that, it doesn't work. And it's so true what she says, that hugs work best and a listening ear is always welcome, because it's so true. Sometimes you just want a hug and you just want someone to listen to you vent, and then that will make things better. And all of your miracle cures are not going to cure me. Right now I'm looking up a bunch of different miracle cures to do a video on, because there's a lot of them out there and I want to do more research, because I've been offered a ton and I want to find some of the weirdest ones. So if you have any really weird ones that people have offered to you, let me know, because I want to know about that. Bronwyn says that sometimes I'm just fine and can live life to the fullest, and sometimes I'm not fine and have to scale back. It's hard to find a balance where I can help people take my condition as seriously as it needs to be when I'm at my worst, without seeming like a hypocrite when I'm having a good spell. It was especially hard with employers. Oh, goodness gracious, employers. It's really true, because when you have good days, people look at that and they're like, oh no, see, she's fine. She's just fine. There's nothing wrong with her. You don't have to worry about anything. And then when you're actually having a really horrendous day, then they're like, oh, she's just over exaggerating, or she did the thing yesterday, so she's obviously faking it because she's just wanting to get out of work. Before I had to stop working altogether, I would call in sick a lot to work because I was getting progressively worse as time went on. And so I was calling in sick more and more because I was getting sick. I was getting sicker than I had been. And after a while, my employers just started not believing me at all. And it got to the point where I was almost passing out at work, where I did pass out at work, where I was having horrible sick spells at work. And I'd either have to go home early or I would push through it, and then I'd have to call in sick the next day because I had overdone it the day before. And it is really hard when people that you want to believe you don't. And they don't take you seriously, and they believe that you're faking it. And that is, oh, that is something that I really, really hate. But the whole, she did it yesterday or she did it last week, that whole thing, I don't like that at all. Nope. Allison says, I wish people understood that trying to live day-to-day life is so much more complicated than overcoming pain or being exhausted. Each day is a new adventure in how to navigate a world not set up for me. I plan my outings around medication schedules. I carry dog treats and poop bags in all my purses for my service dog, and I fill out paperwork with HR in hopes that asking for a reasonable accommodation won't hinder my chance at a promotion. I am not just tired because I have an invisible illness. I am tired because I have to live with an invisible illness, and those are two very different kinds of fatigue. Wow, yeah. When you have to live a life that is completely consumed with your chronic illness, and you have to navigate a world that is not built for you, it creates a type of exhaustion that is different than the fatigue that comes from being sick all the time. So you have two types of sick tiredness that are just piling on top of you. And I agree with her, that fear of not being able to get a promotion because you're asking for some accommodations because of your illness, and that fear of, are they going to believe me, or are they going to think it's too much of a hassle? Am I going to be able to do anything about it if they, don't give me the promotion? Because if they don't give you the promotion, was it because of that? Or was it because you weren't qualified? Or, then you would question it constantly. Did I not get it because of my illness? Or was it because I wasn't what they were looking for? And then you always question that. So, and I think it's true where you have to, plan everything around pill schedules. I always have to carry my pills with me wherever I go, because I don't know if I'm going to be out at 4 o'clock. I don't know if I'm going to be out at 8 o'clock. I don't know if I'm going to be out at noon. I don't know. So my pills are always on me, and I have to schedule it around that. And I have to be cognizant of it, because if I don't pack my pills for the next day, then I'm going to forget them the next day, because I also have ADHD on top of that. So after I finish my pills, I'll take out the container for today's pills, put in tomorrow's pills before I even do anything for the next day, because I know I'm going to forget the next day. So you always have to be cognizant of all of that, and it's exhausting. Marianne says, what I've come to understand is that people don't or won't understand, so I've made my own peace with that fact. I tried and got told I exaggerated, so I have quit trying to explain. Now I just attribute anything to being old. It's easier to say that than to explain. That to me is very telling, when you have so many people tell you that you're over-exaggerating or it can't be that bad, and you finally just come up with a different excuse so that you don't have to explain things. So hers is, I'm just getting old, which I've used that excuse before. I'm not old, but I've used that. It's, I'm just not 20 anymore. I've used that excuse. Or something else like, oh, I just have a headache. Or, oh, it's fine, just aches and pains. And you don't want to explain everything constantly, because you don't want people to constantly think that you're over-exaggerating. And I hate it when people think that I am over-exaggerating everything. So I try and minimize everything as much as possible so that I don't have to explain it, and people will just move on. And then we don't have to talk about it anymore, because I have found that if I talk about it a lot, people will roll their eyes and they are like, oh, we were talking about this again. Do we have to talk about this again? No, not really. It's just, a part of my life, so I thought you'd like to know, but I guess not. Okay. Yeah. Madison says, what about the energy that it takes to just pretend that you're okay? When I mention it, people oftentimes say things like, oh, you don't need to pretend around me. But if I showed how I felt at all the time, it would be quite a scary sight, and very few people would want to be around me. That right there is a fantastic response to this, because we have to put a mask on for the general public, because if we didn't, and we didn't pretend that we were fine, then either people would be scared to be around us, they wouldn't want to talk to us, or they wouldn't take it seriously. I've had all three responses to me not putting my mask on. I have had a doctor tell me that I purposefully went looking that way to get sympathy points, and all I did was roll out of bed and go to an ER, but apparently that didn't get me sympathy points. I'm like, no, this is just my face, in case you're wondering. But it takes a lot to put your mask on and to pretend that you are fine, and it wastes a lot of energy. Like right now, I'm not feeling that great, and I, put my face on, put some clothes on, did my hair. I really didn't want to do my hair, which is why it kind of looks kind of weird, because curls never want to listen to me, ever. So it's a fight for curly hair. But for, the few minutes that I am pretending to be fine, this is going to take up all of my energy for the rest of the night, which people don't understand, that it takes a huge amount of energy to pretend that you are okay. And when people say, oh, don't worry, you don't need to pretend around me, most of them have no idea what they're talking about, because if you didn't pretend around them, then they start making comments. Like, I've had family members who I have just woken up and gone over to their house, and I'm just kind of shuffling around and not doing the greatest. Don't play with the plastic bag. Don't play with the plastic bag. Go away. Winston, don't play with the plastic bag. And they tell me how horrendous I look, and like, oh my gosh, you must be so sick. You look awful. And you're just like, this is my face. I'm sorry. But it's true. It takes a lot of energy to put that mask on, to pretend that you're okay, to put that smile on when you really don't want to smile and you just want to curl up into a ball. And so people who say you don't have to pretend around them, one, I have to really know you very well for you to see me in my normal everyday self, which I have put a few videos on YouTube with my everyday self on it, and it was terrifying to do that because, you know, I have an image of what I look like in my head, and it's not what my sick face looks like. It's this face. So, you know, it's kind of a weird thing, but whatever. Doesn't matter. Anyway, so that was a few comments that were made about what you wish people knew about your chronic illness. And if you have other things that you want to add to that, I would love to hear that. Just put it down in the comment section down below. I would love to hear whatever you have to say. Because, believe it or not, I am here for you, and I want to hear about your stories. And I believe that being able to talk about your illnesses, being able to have a place where you feel safe to talk about your illnesses is extremely important, and I want this to be that place. So if you have anything else you want to add to this video, go ahead and put it in the comments down below, and maybe I'll make another video later on with more stuff that people say. Or if you don't want it in there, just put a little tag that says, I don't want this in the video, I just want to say something, and I won't put it in the video. It's fine. Well, I hope that you enjoyed this video. I hope you got something out of it, and I hope that you realize that you're not alone, that there are many people out there that feel the exact same way that you do. And even if you feel like no one else understands you, there's at least one other person on this planet that knows what you feel like. I have found that even in the weirdest descriptions of my illnesses, there's always that one person that I'm like, oh my gosh, this person knows exactly what I'm talking about. So even if you've never met that person, put your comments down below, and maybe we'll find a person that has the similar symptoms to you, and then you can find someone that will help you out. If you did enjoy this video, or you just want to help out this channel, then go ahead and click that subscribe button, and go ahead and click that like button if you did enjoy this video. Remember to be kind. Kindness is free, so give it out to everyone, and I'll see you next time. Bye. Good job.
Can you? Oh, we're recording, aren't we?
Yes.
Yep, that's perfect. You're gonna give your intro.
Okay. Greetings, my fellow beings! My name is Amanda, and today we're going to talk about things I wish people knew about my condition. Thank you.
You are welcome.
Thank you so much. You're so kind.
Just adding to the garbage, right?
Yep.
She thinks I'm trash. I only ever show up in her garbage.
Not always.
The majority.
No.
But remember kindness.
Go away. Greetings, my fellow beings. My name is Amanda, and today we are going to be talking about my husband bringing in a giant shark into the room. Hello, Morris. Goodbye, Morris. Man. There are like a lot of fires going on right now, and they're all blowing into Utah, and it's making our air absolutely horrendous, and I am having a hard time breathing right now. Anyway, and I agree with employers. Before I stopped, he just came out from under my crinoline. I have my dress on my dress form right here, and my dress form is wearing a crinoline, a hoop skirt, And my cat just popped out from underneath it. Anyway.